James Daly.
Thank you very much indeed, Madam Deputy Speaker. And in his opening of the debate, the Honourable Member for Glasgow East quite rightly set out that this is a UK-wide debate. It's a debate that impacts constituents all over the country, and in some parts of the country, pressures on cost of living come from different means and different and very onerous sources. And so, as ever, to help, Madam Deputy Speaker, I come to the Chamber today to highlight something that all politicians across Greater Manchester can do to ensure that the pressures of cost of living are not increased, that the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone, created by the Mayor of Greater Manchester, supported by all the local authorities, emanating from the Greater Manchester Combined Authority and Transport for Greater Manchester, is scrapped. It is frankly, in my view, a ludicrous proposal. It is going to put burdens on those such as taxi drivers who quite rightly today have staged a go slow throughout Bury Town Centre, that for them to actually go to work they will have to pay, if they're in a non-compliant vehicle, £10 per day. That is absolutely devastating. Lorries will have to pay £60 per day. And this affects businesses of all kinds. It affects employment. It affects all the things that we and what have been talked about. The Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone is something that is going to put people out of business, people out of work, and increase onerous costs. I was visiting a haulage yard, and I talked to Mark Hinchcliffe in my constituency, who set out very clearly the onerous cost that his businesses and others like that. But also on Walmsley Road there is a transport cafe, and we are in the ludicrous situation where if a lorry is travelling up the motorway, which is 2 minutes away from that transport cafe, as a result of that, if that lorry driver wants to go and have his or her breakfast in that cafe, they are going to have to pay a £60 congestion charge. So the business and everybody who goes to that small cafe, which has been open for decades upon decades, is obliterated by a charge, by a process that emanates from a plan delivered by the Greater Manchester Combined Authority on the 1st of March 2019 to central government. This is a plan that has been championed continuously by the Mayor of Greater Manchester. It has been a charge upon my constituents which was put to a vote of Bury Council on the 28th of July 2021, when all Labour members present voted for that tax to be imposed upon my constituents. So when we discuss cost of living, quite rightly members opposite have talked at great length about matters that involve in the Scottish Parliament. The Honourable Gentleman from Wales talked about the Welsh Assembly. But we have devolved government also in Greater Manchester. It is a disaster, but it is devolved government all the same. And the responsibility, when asked, when required to be there during this difficult period, to be there for the constituents of Bury and every other part of Greater Manchester, the best thing that the Mayor, the leader of Bury Council and all the other local authorities is to do is to impose onerous taxation on businesses, on individuals, that will destroy their ability to earn a living. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I understand that the Mayor of Greater Manchester is coming to speak with ministers this week, as he should. He's been stood there for years and years and years thinking this is the greatest plan in the world. He is coming down to speak to ministers, and I would encourage him, and I would encourage all politicians, and I'm sure the member for Glasgow East, I accept, of course.
I thank the Honourable Member for giving way. Will he agree with me that since 2019, the market for vehicles has changed dramatically in the UK? A lot to do with COVID, but also the global semiconductor shortage. And does he agree with me that the onus is on the Secretary of State to support Greater Manchester local authorities to make sure that we make a just transition so the population of Greater Manchester can breathe much cleaner air?
And thank the Honourable Gentleman for that point. We have a complete difference of opinion in this sense. Both he and his Labour colleagues do not wish to scrap the scheme. They wish to go back to government for further funding for a hardship fund. That hardship fund has not been defined, but estimates of the funding required are approximately 2.2 to 2.5 billion. of income, and I would be very interested to know where he would propose that income is going to come from. I hope instead of that, and to support his constituents in Stockport, he would join me in telling the Mayor of Greater Manchester to say to the Secretary of State, I got this wrong, we got this scheme wrong, the consequences of it for my constituents and the honourable gentleman's constituents are too severe. There is no politician, surely, whether in Greater Manchester, Scotland, Wales, England, wherever they are, that would simply go ahead with a proposal, a plan, which, I repeat again, which is their plan, which is the Mayor of Greater Manchester's plan, the GMCA's plan, the TFGM plan, to put people out of business. Why would anybody do that? It is incumbent upon the Mayor of Greater Manchester to come here to London this week and say, this plan is wrong, I got it badly wrong. Ask the government to look at it in that context and not dance around the edges, not say that we need extra money, a bit here and a bit there, to say that this plan is a disaster for cost of living to my constituents, to the honourable gentleman's constituents, and every single politician who believes in supporting their constituents to address cost of living, which has been talked about here today, should completely and utterly oppose the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone. Thank you very much.